What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1:55 a.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and I wanted to just share some concerning information that I just found. Apparently, there's a B 1 or several B 1 nuclear bombers on their way to the UK for a bomber task force mission. Okay, so several nuclear bombers are going to the UK to RAF Fairford. All right. So here we have an article from Gloucester Live, and it talks about these U.S. Air Force B-1 bombers preparing to deploy to Gloucester in England. Okay, let me read this article to you. Heavy bomber jets from the U.S. Air Force are expected to begin a deployment to RAF Fairford on Thursday, October 12, amid growing instability following this week's escalation in the Israel-Palestine conflict. An unknown number of B-1Bs are expected to cross the Atlantic and head to Gloucester after taking part in a special mission. Multiple private flights in the past week have landed at the Gloucester Air Base with crew and equipment from the home of the B-1Bs in America, Dyess Air Force Base, building anticipation for a full deployment of the famously loud U.S. heavy bomber jet. Many of the 50-year-old B-1Bs are currently undergoing upgrades that will see them flying into the 2040s. On Wednesday, October 11, according to a flight notice closing the airfield for the morning, U.S. Air Force officials conducted a foreign object sweep of the runway at the base to make sure there was no debris ahead of the arrival of the U.S. Bomber Task Force. The B-1Bs were last deployed to RAF Fairford in May this year as part of a regular Bomber Task Force rotation in Europe, where they also flew missions to deter Russian aggression in Ukraine. Sources confirming deployment believe the B-1Bs could be participating in a show of strength in Europe or the Middle East before landing at Fairford. So they're saying that it's speculated that they could arrive at 3 p.m. after a mission over Scandinavia. Okay, so they're going to be flying over Scandinavia, I guess, to do like a show of force. But these are nuclear capable bombers, guys. Okay. So this is pretty serious, okay, for them to suddenly move nuclear bombers to the UK. All right. They could use these to attack Iran. They could use these to support Israel in various ways. They could use these to deal with a Russian invasion of the Baltics. So this is pretty serious, guys. I want to just share some more information about this Marine Expeditionary Unit that was called back from exercises in Kuwait because of emerging events. So what you're looking at here is the Marine Corps Times. And so it's the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Okay. And so they are special operations capable. All right. So that's the name of this Marine Expeditionary Unit that was called back because of emerging events. Okay, that is pretty serious for them to do that. Here we have the flight path of that B-1, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they're moving assets into the European theater in case things pop off. Here's a B-1 that was flying right outside of Fort Worth yesterday, probably just gearing up to fly to Europe. Okay, this is a strategic bomber that is nuclear capable. It's a supersonic nuclear bomber. Okay, we have a nuclear war command and control plane that was off the coast of California, and it turned its transponder off. And that was just in the last few hours overnight here. We have what appears to be Secretary of State Antony Blinken's plane heading to Israel. He's going to meet with uh, all the leaders of Israel. I want to just share some tweets with you from his Twitter account. So he posted here: the terrorist attacks against Israel are appalling, and the world should be revolted at what it's seen. As we continue to closely monitor the situation, we sadly now know that at least 22 U.S. citizens were killed, and U.S. citizens are among those being held by Hamas. Okay, so he's confirming here that not only are 22 U.S. citizens dead, but there's also U.S. citizens being held as hostages by Hamas. Okay, so this is a major event here, guys. I mean, how do we know that there's not hundreds of U.S. citizens being held, or thousands of Westerners? There's tons and tons of Westerners that visit Israel, that used to visit Israel. Now they're not going to be able to. But there's a lot of Westerners that hang out in Israel, live there. Um, we don't know the true numbers, and they would never actually tell us anyway. Okay, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And in my last update, I mentioned that Iran was moving ballistic missiles inside of their territory. I do have a video, but I'm afraid to share it because YouTube's very sensitive about footage like that, because I cannot verify 100% that it's legit footage. But this video, it looked legit to me. There were like at least 20 mobile ballistic missile launchers. Okay, the missiles on top of the trucks, the missile trucks that were heading down the highway in Iran. Okay, at least 20 of them. So Iran is getting their missiles ready. Okay. And he also tweeted that we stand with NATO allies Finland and Estonia as they investigate damage to undersea infrastructure in the Baltic Sea and support their ongoing investigation to determine the cause. Okay. So we do know that it's very likely that Russia damaged this undersea cable or gas pipeline connecting Finland to Estonia. Okay, here we have some video footage of an underground bunker in Israel, and here this is like a giant underground hospital that can hold up to like 2,000 beds. Okay, and so they've activated their underground bunkers and hospitals. They're in a full state of war. Okay, Israel is in a full state of war. This is a no joke, guys. Okay, this is a serious situation. Okay, apparently this hospital has 3 floors underground, and this is the 3rd floor underground. Okay, so it's a full scale bunker, as you can see. Okay, and I'm not going to give away the location of it, but it's a massive bunker. Okay, so they're activating that now. We have a Russian National Guard plane that was flying over Iraq, and it turned its transponder off as it was going west towards Syria. So is the Russian National Guard moving towards or moving into Syria now to secure Syria, potentially get involved in this war? Oh, I don't know, but it looks like it came from Iran. It had its transponder off, and then it turned it on when it got over Baghdad, and then it shut it off once it passed Baghdad and went back over the desert. Okay, so it likely came from Iran, and it was going towards Syria. We also had another Russian Air Force plane flying over the eastern Mediterranean. It took off from Syria and it went along the Israeli Lebanon coast over here. Okay, so the Russian military is active in this region. We have multiple Brazilian Air Force planes going to and from Israel, evacuating people nonstop around the clock. Okay, we have more Polish Air Force planes, C-130s, 3 of them tonight, going back and forth to Israel, scrambling to get people out. So I find it very concerning that this B1 or multiple B1s are going to the UK, considering that the last 2 nights there were high priority reconnaissance planes flying around Kaliningrad. Okay, and I shared that with you guys, the flight paths. Okay, those are recon planes that are used to give intelligence to the president and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the U.S. only has two of them. So if they send one of those planes, they're known as the combat sent planes. If they send them to an area, it means that something's going on serious enough that the president and the Joint Chiefs need immediate intelligence on that area. And they were flying around Kaliningrad for the last 2 nights. And now there's a B-1 going to the UK, or multiple B-1s. Yeah, that's not a coincidence, guys. Okay. So also, NATO is hosting the largest command post exercise ever in NATO history. It's known as Steadfast Jupiter, and it just started. So this is basically like a tabletop exercise, I guess, that's going to involve apparently 7,000 military and civilian personnel from NATO and partner countries. Okay, 7,000. This is NATO's largest computer-assisted command post exercise, which will take place at 27 locations across Europe and North America. So basically, they're going to be like doing a wargaming exercise from the strategic to the tactical level. And it's going to involve a simulation of an Article 5 crisis. Okay. So Steadfast Jupiter 2023 will strengthen low and high intensity warfighting skill sets of the NATO command and force structure headquarters using a multi-domain, multi-joint operational area scenario based on an Article 5 crisis. Okay, and here's some pictures. You can see them in this command center here. It looks like something out of James Bond. If any of you guys ever played GoldenEye on N64, it reminds me of that one level. I think it's the bunker level, where there's that giant computer screen and you have all the Russian troops trying to kill you from all sides, and you got to protect Natasha by the computer. It reminds me of that. But anyway, look at this, guys. I mean, this is crazy. Okay, the largest exercise. This is a simulation exercise, okay? But 7,000 personnel. That's huge, okay? We have some breaking news that Biden said during a speech to Jewish American organizations that he told the Iranians to be careful. We have the USS Gerald R. Ford carrier strike group set to be positioned off the coast of Lebanon and northern Israel. So they're putting them there in case Hezbollah gets involved. Okay. And I wanted to just share some information that I have from sources. I have some viewers that live near some critical military bases here in the U.S., and I have one viewer near Raven Rock, and this viewer near Raven Rock said that they heard an air siren go off. I think this was yesterday. There was no fire departments outside in the area. There's no fire departments in the area, and there were no like fire trucks around. It's in a rural area, and there was just a random air siren coming from Raven Rock. Okay, Raven Rock is known as the alternate military command center. That's basically the backup Pentagon. In the event of a nuclear war, that's where the defense secretary and our top generals would go. It's just over the border from Maryland and Pennsylvania. It's not far from Camp David. It's maybe just like 10 miles away. Some people think there's tunnels that connect Camp David to Raven Rock. But so one of my viewers said they heard an air siren going off, and there were at least 2 fighter jets flying in the area. And then I have another viewer near Jim Creek Naval Radio Station. That's a VLF transmitter site in Washington State for transmitting nuclear attack options and emergency war orders to our nuclear forces, okay, especially our submarines. It's a giant radio transmitter, and this person said there were 6 planes that flew over the area near Jim Creek yesterday with their transponders off. Okay, he couldn't find them on the flight tracker. We have breaking news that The death toll for Thai nationals in Israel has risen to 21. And we also have breaking news that NASA scientists have announced that the Bennu asteroid sample contains water and carbon. All right, so that's the latest breaking news, guys. Wanted to just give you this quick update, this overnight update. I will be back during the day to give you more updates, but we do have a B1 heading to the UK, or several B1s. And we have Israel opening up underground hospitals and bunkers. Okay, Blinken is going to Israel. We have a lot of activity at doomsday bunkers around the country. So get prepared, guys. Things are really escalating. I think this is the big one. I think this is the one that we've all been preparing for. I don't think it's just going to fizzle out. I think this is going to continue, and it's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. And I do expect other fronts around the world to open up, potentially the Korean Peninsula soon. I'm not worried about Taiwan just yet, but we also have to remember that Putin is going to China this month, and he's going to meet with Xi Jinping. And you remember right before the war in Ukraine started, Putin went to China and asked permission to invade Ukraine from Xi Jinping. So we'll see what the outcome of that. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'll keep you updated. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification icon to get notified of my updates. I'm going to be doing more updates later today. So take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.